All right, let's get started. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, Internet. We know we're all over the planet. Who knows where you are? If you're in Europe, I don't know what time it is. It's not the same time it is here in Japan, which is 11:42, midnight, almost approaching late night for the U.S. in general. So I know a lot of you are probably going to fall asleep, which is okay. That's part of the reason I do it at this time also, to lull you to sleep. All right. As we know, last week, episode 12, we had the big debate, chicken sandwich or chicken burger. And we came up with if it's between like Wonder Bread, sliced bread, it's a sandwich. And if it's broiled, if there's no breading around it, then it's a sandwich. Right? The other end of that would be on buns, sandwich between two buns. I know the word sandwich, but it also means between two, right? Okay, sandwich between two buns. Probably breaded and fried would make it a chicken burger. Now, there's also the ghetto burger that we decided existed, which is a breaded piece of chicken, deep fried, but between Wonder Bread. So we decided that would be a ghetto chicken burger or sandwich, hamburger sandwich or something like that. That was our final decision. And so that's where we were last week. That was a big debate. It still rages on. Midnight Chef, aka my wife, said it's always a sandwich, if I'm not mistaken. It's always a chicken sandwich, no matter what. But she was not in on the debate and all the fun. Oh, hey, McCroy, there you are. So yeah, we're just this is a recap from last week. It's a chicken. Just recapping how we sort of defined or came with the guidelines of what would qualify as a chicken sandwich and what qualifies as a chicken burger, and then our ghetto burger, which is fried piece of fried chicken, deep fried chicken, or breaded chicken between two pieces of bread. No problem, Silver. You were in a pinch, Japanese pinch. Excellent. Again, wait, it's the same in Japanese and English? Oh, I just confused myself. No worries, man. Absolutely no worries. Life's got to happen, right? Okay, so that's where we were last week. Before we move into this week, let's talk about all the things that bring this wonderful podcast to you. First, what you're hearing now, which is Breakbeat Kings, is the royalty-free playlist that we listen to every week because I am so lazy. I don't want to find another playlist. I don't want to have to update this file. So we're going to listen to the same thing until I just get sick and tired of it, or you guys shout at me, or someone finds a good playlist on Apple Music that I can use. But until then, man, we're going to listen to the same thing. Also, how are you today, Silver? Have things settled down work-wise? All right, we also have SIPs, which I don't know what SIP stands for, but what I do know is that SIPs allows us to resample images to different sizes. Pinch is less pinch, but still in the pinch. Back to work. Keyboard jockey. All right, and SIPs allows us to resample images, which is all I use it for. There are a ton of features, but I never really use them. I just use it for one thing. SIPs. Then we have CSV Kit, which I misnamed CSV Toolkit here in the doohickey majiggy. The file, or the bit.ly shortcut. It allows you to turn CSV files into the lovely table that you see here in front of you. I feel feel like advertisers on TV, I can see if the links have been clicked or not. No clicks, but I'm still gonna go through the motions. We're still gonna go through the motions, though it breaks my heart. All right, next we have curl to grab your images from any. Well, that's not true. That's an exaggeration. As long as there is no password, there's a way to send passwords to the website or the FTP that's hosting the file. As long as there's no password required, you can just pop in the URL of the image, pop it into curl, and suck it right down to your computer via curl. There's also wget, but we won't talk about that. Image Cat, which allows us to show images right here in the terminal, but not the default terminal app that comes with Mac OS X, because for some reason that I'm not aware of, you cannot display images properly in the terminal. I don't know, maybe there's some other feature, but when I Googled on the internet and it said, hey, if you want to display images in the terminal, you need to use iTerm, which I have not included on the list. Bad. So iTerm, which is what we're using here, and Image Cat allows us to display images right here in the terminal. For those of you who are geeks, you'll understand why that's cool. And if you are like me and you have no artistic talents, but you need to put together presentations or posters or slides, but you don't want to use Pages that comes with Apple, and whatever they have on Windows, it's just like, it's too big and clunky. I don't like it. And if you need something simple, and you're a simple person, you want to be quick and dirty. Not like that. I know how some of your minds work. Canva is your friend. Alrighty. So, I don't know where I am in my directory structure. Right. So that's everything that brings this wonderful podcast to your ear hole. Next, let's talk about what's in today's show. That's right. We're going to talk about Double Dash, Tower Wisdom, Fast, Cheaper, Good, and log lines from TV, programs, and movies. We'll get to that in a little bit. So, if I'm on this tab, I have too many tabs open, you guys. I get a little bit lost sometimes. So let's go to tab 1. Okay, that's the opening. Tab 2, that's the chicken thing. So I don't know where I am. Okay. There we are. All right. So, right. So let's go let's get into GT Sport and Spazer Laser's upcoming series, Double Dash, brought to you by Peanut Butter Twix. And we have some images. So these images were created with Canva, plus images that I have. Oh, you can't see the top part. God dang it, it's too big. There's a little bit at the top there that you can't see. This is a Spazer Laser production, Double Dash, on Twitch TV, on twitch.tv/iMorphTV. Between May 30th and July 18th, there will be 8 rounds. The first round is at Maggiore, or whatever it is, Group 1 vehicles. Sardinia Windmills, Group B. I'm going to be sick that day. I might be sick that day, who knows. Dragon Trail, because it's like rally and gravel and drifting and counter steer. Terrible at that. June 13th, Dragon Trail Seaside 2. Ooh, it's reversed. Some people are going to panic over that. Group 2, that's going to be freaking fast too. Group 1 cars, Group 2 cars are ultra fast. And then we have round 4 on the 20th of June at Blue Moon Bay Infield A in the Huracan 1 make. There will be no tire change regulation. Interesting. Round 5, June 27th at Brands Hatch Indy, the short track. I have a very strong love-hate relationship with Brands Hatch. I love the layout itself. I love every turn. What I hate about it is that there's zero runoff. And to steal something I heard another YouTuber, GT Sim Racer description, it's a ribbon. It's just a ribbon of concrete. It's like you're running on the ribbon. And if you just fall off the ribbon, you get to the edge, you fall right off. And it's so annoying. That's the bit I don't like. All right, that'll be N100. I don't even know what N100 cars could be like. The tiny cars, they like the little tiny Fiats, little 3-cylinder ones. And then we have July 4th, which that's going to be an interesting day. We might skip that day. Unsure. Might have to jiggle the schedule around a bit. July 4th, Red Bull Ring Super Formula. That is going to be brutal. Super Formula cars, they are very difficult to control, especially when you're in a group. I'm going to assume there will be a lot of contact in this race. People getting shoved off, people spooling up the back, spooling up the engine, spooling up the turbo, breaking the grip on those rear tires, and sending themselves into the sweet by and by. Hey, Troll Art, thank you. The Bob Ross of GT Sport. That is a huge. Those shoes, mighty big shoes to fill. I don't know if I'm ready to fill those shoes. Wow, maybe it's paintbrush, like the Bob Ross paintbrush of GT Sport. I'll take that. Then we have round 7, July 11th at the Nürburgring. I can't say it right. Nürburgring. I have no idea how to say it. Don't even bother trying to correct me. I'm going to forget. Group 3. That should be bearable. And the final round, probably on July 8th, will be at Miyabi, the short circuit at the Kyoto Driving Park, which is a fictional circuit. We'll be racing in the Nerdburger Ring. Nerdburger Ring. Really? Is it really nerd? I'll take that. Nerdburger Ring. I'll take it. Okay. So that will be happening starting from May 30th. I don't even know what the day is, so I can't give you a date. And then the other version, the English version, which was probably not going to fit either, it's double dash. There's everything in English. Brought to you by Canva and GT Sport Photoscape mode. See, I can remember Nerdburgering. I can remember that. I can totally remember that. Alrighty. So this photo was taken on my US account, my Gran Turismo Sport US account. I transferred it over to my Japanese account, I think. This was way back when. This is when the RS-01 was probably drivable. So yeah. Also, if you notice, hashtag not a cult in the bottom left-hand corner. Can't forget to remind people that we're not a cult. Totally not a cult. Alrighty. So that's the GT Sport information. I need to figure out where I am. And we're going to... Wait, I forgot what's next, you guys. I forgot what's next. Hold on. What's next? Oh, Tower of Wisdom. Okay. All right. Tower of Wisdom. I don't know where I put that file. Where's Tower? Oh, okay. All right. Here we go. Okay, so Tower of Wisdom. We are officially calling this the Tower of Wisdom. This is wisdom I found on the internet. Initially, it started from something I heard in Destiny, but I've totally forgotten the initial quote. Last week it was, give the world what you want to receive. This week is about constraints. Why does that keep getting cut off at the top? That's annoying. Okay, so this is Zavala from Destiny and Nürburgring. Okay, we just have the 3 syllables now. Nürburgring. That's the best I can do right now. I'll sort it out. But now I know where the G goes. I know the G goes with the R in the second syllable. Nair ner? Is it in? Would it be a neighbor or in you ner? Like nerd from nerd, N-E-R, or nar, N-A-R? No. What do you mean saying the wrong Y? Y is like E. Is it berg? Or I wait. Risky E, yeah. You guys, my pictures keep getting chopped off at the top. And I don't know why. I think I'm resampling at the wrong rate, but that's okay. Maybe it doesn't exist in English, yeah. Or I just don't know what it is. Okay, so constraints encourage creativity. In the 80s and 90s, gradually I saw this, well, it was probably carried on from before I was born, but I became aware of it like in the 80s, like, oh, there are no rules. You know, it's limitless, you could do what you want. Free jazz, man, right? And I never liked that. Never a fan of that concept, because if you have no rules, if you have no constraints, then you just have, it's nothing. It's just a blob of paint or just a bunch of random tones thrown together with no discernible pattern. But I didn't say anything for years and years and years. I kept my mouth shut because apparently, everyone else is smarter than I am. Everyone else sort of knows what's going on. But it never, ever sat right with me. Until I discovered. So when did I decide to push back on this? Right? Yeah, you need constraints. You need a lot. Hi, Brown Bunny. You need a lot of constraints. Story E. Near Berg. Ring. That's hard. Like the word near. Near. I can't do that. I can't make that sound in English. What do you? That is impossible sound. There's no way you can say NY with an R after it. There's absolutely no way to do that in English. Jack White. Who's Jack White? White Stripes. Okay, that's a band. They were popular. That's all I know. A lot of my friends said they played without a bass player. They had to figure it out. That is absolutely amazing. You will have to drop a few tunes for me in either DM on Discord or in the music channel in the Discord. I need to hear this. That's absolutely amazing. I can't pull the Discord up right now. I'm locked into one sort of setup Trollar. I don't know how to get there from here. It's sort of a patchwork. It's all held together by paper clips, chewing gum, and used staples. You don't know how rickety this is. So there were a few times where I felt like, I need to say something here. I'm going to sort of rewind a bit about constraints. Use Hotchkiss. Right? Yep, use Hotchkiss. I found that little container that does everyone remember like going, well, maybe to your dad's office or where your parents worked, and there was that magnetized sort of case that had paper clips and sometimes staples in it? You recorded an audio clip? Thank you, Trollar. I remember that very well. That boggled my mind. But there was this guy, John. He was a bassist. We worked together. I think we were together at Nova. I'm not sure. He didn't live far from my place. He was a jazz musician. I just like music. But my thing is, you got to have some sort of framework. And it was John and this other guy, bassist and maybe a pianist or bass guitarist and pianist or something, or drummer and bassist, or I can't quite remember the duo, the setup. But they were playing at this festival, and I've listened to a lot of jazz. I cannot play jazz. I can't explain how to play an instrument, but I do know what works and what doesn't work. So between, like, they played a few songs, and they were bugging me. And I said, listen, I know I'm not a musician. I said, but you guys, you're not focused. And she goes, but it's jazz, man, right? And John was really into the whole jazz thing, like being cool. And I said, no, it's not working. I said, you guys need to find a rule, make a rule, like you're not going to do this, or because that's what jazz, there are rules in jazz, by the way. I said, make a rule that you're going to do this, or you're going to play so many things like this. Let's come up with some musical rule. Like, you're going to always incorporate this phrasing. I don't know how it works, but come up with something between yourself. Don't tell the audience, and then play with that. And at first he was upset with me. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. You're a failed bass student. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever, bro. Whatever. But then he went away, had a think. That's what he told me afterward. They had a think, they had a talk, and then they come up with some sort of rule. I never knew what the rule was, but that next set was brilliant. And I could tell they were trying to do something. I just didn't know what it was. So there was also about, I have to say this person's name, and that to put like some sort of warning in front of it. This is so dumb. So Dr. Seuss, he was challenged to, this is what I've heard. This may not be 100% correct. I heard this on the internet. He was challenged to write a children's storybook using only 150 words or something like that, 150 different words or something like that. So that was the birth of Dr. Seuss. It was just like, hey, here are your constraints, go. And he freaking did it. It might have been the Cat in the Hat or something like that. And he had a fixed set of words he could use. And then when I saw that, I'm like, okay, so I'm not wrong. But everyone kept telling me I was wrong. No, man, that's the old way, you know. You don't need to follow the rules of the old way. It's old, and you don't have to do it like that. You're free, man. Do whatever you want. I'm just like, I don't know. I think you guys are full of it. So it's Dr. Seuss, and then haiku, right? Like, holy cow, poetry, music, blues, jazz, classical music, AABA. I learned about 8-bar, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, holy cow. Surrounded by constraints. Everything. Art. You're going to use oil, and you can only use from this palette, blah, blah, blah. You know, warm color, cold colors. I don't know anything about art, but apparently there are rules. Anyone that tells you that they're not, it's just your feelings, man. They're full of it. They don't know what they're doing, and they don't know how to explain. So they say, oh, it's just like, you got to feel it, man. It's like, no, shut up, you're wrong. The constraints of racing. The constraints of racing, be it sim racing or in real life racing, we're all fighting. The main thing that we're fighting is that traction, right? The grip that you can get out of the car, out of the tires. Because the limiting rule, the rule is the tires can only do one thing at a time. Either brake, they can handle braking, turning, or accelerating. Now, that has an impact on a lot of other things like weight, weight distribution, blah, blah, blah. But the overriding factor that dictates all of what you do is that right there, yeah? Hey, braking and accelerating are the same thing. Are they? Just opposite directions. Yes. Okay, I agree with that. You put the sound on Discord? Excellent. I don't know how to get to there. I can't play a sound from my computer into the the podcast. And if I go from, so the music is playing from my iPad into the mixer. That's how we're getting the audio. So I would have to introduce another input device to make it work. But I will check that out after the podcast. So those are the main constraints. And then, as McCroy put out, braking and accelerating, that's really good. By the way, McCroy, that really helps me put some things in my head properly. I want to, but I don't know how to do that without making a mess. All right, hold on just a second. Uno momento, por favor. Hold on.
Trying this demo.
No, I can't do that because it's asked me to open up another. No, I can't play it there. I can't play audio from the computer into the stream right now. I can't make that work right now. And the iPad is telling me I need to download an app to be able to play that. But everyone, please click that link. But I can listen to it for myself, though.
Thank you for trying this demo.
Oh my God. Okay, I just listened to that. Yeah, that sound does not exist. Okay. So anyway, constraints. Where was I? Where was I? Constraints. Dr. Seuss. Music, art, driving, grip. Yeah, okay. I lost my whole train of thought there. But anyway, that's it. Constraints encourage creativity. So if anyone tells you, oh man, just do what you want, just tell them iMorph says, you're wrong. You're totally wrong. All right. Right, so we've covered Tower of Wisdom. Let's move on to... I don't know where I put things, you guys. Okay, all right. So that's Tower of Wisdom, that's 2. Let's move on to fast, good, or cheap. What works if you have ADHD? What is it? Constraints? Okay. So fast, cheap, good. So I've read about the ADHD. There was a really long post on Facebook, and many people have mentioned it, about how this woman realized that her son couldn't visualize the end result. And that's why he was really struggling, because he couldn't see his goal. So when she provided him with a picture of what it looked like to be dressed for school, once he saw what he was trying to achieve, it was easy for him to go back and then figure out what he needed to get from the closet, and what he had to prepare for the night before, because he couldn't see the objective. And once he could see the objective, then he could focus, and he wasn't as stressed out, and it sort of helped him deal with that lack of attention. So apparently there's a form of ADHD where people can't see their final objective, and therefore they get frustrated. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm just relaying information. So yeah, if you struggle with ADHD, maybe try to take a picture of the final result that you want, or like list the thing that you're trying to do, what it would look like, or what would happen. Sort of like the military, when they plan things, and just use that as your focus to guide you towards step A, B, C, D, and the things that you need. All right, so today, one thing we're going to talk about is fast, good, and cheap. And I don't know if we're in the right folder for that. Okay, so let's look at, since we have some racing folks here, let's look at racing wheels. So the deal is you can only have, between fast, good, and cheap, either focus on one or focus on two. But you can't focus on all three. You can't achieve all three. It's not possible. So each company, right, they produce a thing, and so each company decides, okay, we're gonna make something that's it's fast to make, but it's gonna be fast and cheap. We don't want that, right? But in your opinion, sim racing wheels, if McCrow is still here, Trollar also, Silver. I know Silver's working. So let's think about a wheel, and then based on your personal opinion, what do you think the manufacturer focused on? Fast, good, cheap. So I forgot the first wheel I had. You guys, what was the first wheel? Which wheel? Which wheel, Trollar? G29? G29. So you focus on good and cheap. That's a rare one. That's a rough one. So the G29, you would say is what did you say? Cheap and good. Okay, so that means boom. And what would that look like? Something like that, right? So Silver would like to jump in and say, I disagree. So hold on. We're gonna have user. So according to Trollar, the G29 is good and cheap. So according to Silver, what would you consider the G29 to be? You think of replacing all the wires on it? That would be a very good idea. I think that's the only... So I don't think he's meaning in price. I think he's in quality. Well, that's sort of... No. So this is meaning when you produce it. So was it fast? Was it thrown together quickly? This is about the production of it. So like when you buy something, do you want something that was like thrown together quickly? So we're talking about the build quality. So, what would you say about the G29 Silver? Is it cheap? Was it a cheap? Is it a cheap product? They made it for cheap, fast construction, good materials, or this is the part in the podcast where I have to wait for lag and to figure out if people are lurking or thinking. I don't know what's happening here. Some of it is good, some of it is cheap. So you would say good and cheap? So production focuses on good quality but cheap to produce, cause profits. Yeah, yeah. So I think from a design point of view, the casing is absolutely terrible. You see it in MC production. What's MC production? It has fewer problems than the T300. Okay, so the G29, I think they skimped. Motorcycle production. Okay, all right. I think they skimped on the quality of the materials when it comes to the pedal base. I think the pedal base is where it all falls apart. Mainly the wiring, that part was just thrown together. They didn't take into consideration dirt getting in there. There's no way to clean it out. The whole thing is in a case, which means you have to pull the case open, which wouldn't be bad, but the wires are so short and so flimsy. You can tell that they took no time in designing how the wires were. Say, what's the minimum length this wire needs to be? What's the minimum gauge it needs to be to carry the current? And that was it. They didn't think about having to go in there and replace it, or, you know, should we route it this way? There was no consideration. And that is in the potentiometer also. That's what makes a G29. That's what causes a G29, in my mind, to be cheap and fast. Is the case. The wheel itself was fantastic. So I think the base and the wheel, Acer Laxative, I think the base and the wheel are two different things, right? The pedals and the wheels are two different things. That kind of detail is expensive. I know, right? So we're talking about fast, good, cheap, and everyone's opinions about different things. So it looks like we're stuck on the G29. So I think we need to separate the pedals from the wheel itself. I think the wheel itself, absolutely fantastic. Now, I don't know what's inside of it, but I didn't have to open it. But they focus, I think they put most of their energy on making the wheel itself work really well. The pedals were an afterthought. It really felt like they just threw the pedals together. It's like, so pedals? Man, we put all this time, money, and energy into the wheel, the steering wheel, and the motors and all that stuff. But has anyone thought about the pedals? And they all sort of looked at each other. They looked at the calendar like, so we need some wires. Yeah. We need a potentiometer. Okay. And some metal for the pedals. And a case. Okay, go. Great. Done. Nailed it. Nailed it. No one's ever going to open it. It'll be fine. There was one guy, was probably going, hey, so, people might want to open it up. There is barely any minute. So yeah, just like here, bare minimum. Bare minimum. uh, they just do it. That I guarantee you, that's what happened. I absolutely guarantee you that's what happened. I'm that brave. I am that brave in my assumption and speculation. You can see it. It's so freaking obvious. The pedals just, if they were to go through and just spend a month just focusing on upgrading the materials they use in the pedals, the wire routing, or if they're going to make it sort of a clip. And then they went for sake. Done. Nailed it. Drinks? What? Oh my God, Trollar, yes. You have to open and take the stupid block out of the brake. It's so... The G29... The wheel is great, it's just the pedals. So I think what you're saying is a good idea. Oh, okay. So, everyone, is it okay if I out our relationship, Brown Bunny? We got to come clean. We have to be clear. All right, waiting. There could be lag. Okay, so Brown Bunny, I know who it is. This is my sister. Everyone say hello to iMorph's sister, Brown Bunny. Say hi. So, whatever you feel you can discuss about your employer, please do so. And if you guys think I'm awesome, she's just as, possibly, maybe, a little bit better. We're both awesome. Both awesome. And sake and ramen. That's right? Or sake and sushi. All right, there's obviously lag, so I'm going to sit here and we're going to wait, listen to the music play. So for those who are curious, I'm the oldest, the elder brother. Beer and Wagyu, yes. So design and production is tougher than you think. Mostly too many chefs in the kitchen. Oh, I bet. Afterthought, I can imagine. The things that are afterthought. You can see it though. You can see it. Right? No, and it's like, okay, let's do this, and this. All right. And it's like, well, wait, how much is that going to cost? Oh. It's amazing anything gets built. It's absolutely amazing that anything gets built. Quality things, anything. This is why I'm a fan, a big Apple fan, because you can see they spend a lot of time trying to get it right. They may not always make the best decisions. Some things may get left out, some corners may be cut. But overall, I think they do the best job. Making everyone happy, customers, designers, executives. Who cares about executives? It should be about the customers. That's it. And shareholders. Okay. Then it has to be profitable. All right, it has to be profitable, and you have to make two groups happy: the customers, and then the bank account of the company. Because if there's no money in the bank, you can't make the thing. And if the thing that you make doesn't make the customer happy, there will be no money in the bank. And then, yeah, you fail. So you got to make that money. You got to make that money. But at the same time, got to make sure that the customers are happy. Happy bank account. Profit. I'm expensive. All right. So, even though we started talking about the G29, when you purchased your vehicle, or the vehicle that you own, where would you put it in terms of how it was designed? Did they focus on being cheap and good, or just fast? Oh, I know, right? Your bicycle. All right. So, hit us with your bicycle troll. Seriously, right? So, 2020 product in 2010, you guys. I don't think most people understand how long it freaking takes to make things happen. My really good example is the Honda Jet. They started that project in 87, just research in 87. They just got all the FCC blah, 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 or FAA blah, 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 to, license to produce blah, 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 in 2014 or something. Can we play as fast with Rushed? Yes. Yes, we can. Yes. Ooh, I like that. I really like that. Remind me to change that later. I really like that. Rushed, cheap, or good? So rushed, cheap, or good? I like that. Okay. So your bike was not rushed, okay, or cheap, but it's good. Excellent. So they took the time to. They didn't rush the production. They didn't rush the research phase. They didn't rush the engineering phase. They weren't cheap when it came to materials. I really like that, Trollar. Rushed does sound. We sort of need to put like lines between like what these things are. What do we mean by rushed and so on and so forth? They may have taken something from another bike, but it worked. So hey. I think someone's venting about work. So tell us more. But that bike was not rushed. Excellent. So it doesn't matter where it comes from, as long as it's not rushed and as long as the materials used are not cheap, right? Apple does it all the time with their connectors and materials for the keyboard and the trackpad. Exact same material. They just cut it to a different shape, slap a different bit of whatever on the slab. So, oh my God, says Brown Bunny. Rush decisions, rush production, rush designs. Yeah. I hate rushed products. Now, if you can rush a good product, that's... If you set up your... Oh, so they do things like, so their production line, if you look at all their products, they share a lot of the same materials. They just cut them to different shapes. Oh, I almost called you by your real name. Can I call you by your other internet name? That's a bit easier to say. I almost called you by your real name. Okay, so Photo Spice. All right, so Photo Spice. I have a very shallow understanding of a lot of different things. So this concept of using things from one place to another, parts here, parts there. I need to turn that trigger off. You'll see it in aircraft design, in the aerospace industry. His work tries to rush the circuit boards they assemble. Some things get made too sloppily, or they want them made faster than they require to be. Right? So, and that never, if you were in that position, it is better to stop. Just stop. Look at your whole production line. Look at your sourcing, as PhotoSpice says. Look at your production. Look at your sourcing. Look at your objectives. And if you spend time at the front, looking at all of the end product and how you're going to get there, if you spend 80% of your time just thinking and evaluating and organizing, what you put out would be absolutely fantastic. You can't, I want to say what our parents always say, Photo Spice, you can't half donkey on the thinking part. You've really got to sit down and think about it for a long time. So, Troll Art, if you, we have aerospace and parts. Okay, so about parts being used. If you're familiar with the A10, someone went to make I just bought a GoPro Hero 9 to start a YouTube channel. We'll try not to rush it. Yeah, sit down and think about exactly what you want to happen on your YouTube channel. Be very clear. Look at what the resources you have right at hand right now, and be clear on what you want your audience to take away. Be very, very clear in your head about what that is. And then be very clear about how you're going to do that. And then keep it as simple as possible. My process here is super simple. I'm recycling ideas I've had for years. I'm picking up things I found on the internet. And then I'm presenting it in a way that I understand. Exactly. Just use exactly only the things that you have at hand, Troll R. So if it needs to be cheap and simple. I'm using this system I'm using to present the podcast. I have not spent any money on anything extra. I'm using the Twitch Studio app because it works. It's not the best solution, but it works. I'm using the terminal. I downloaded tools that are free, open source, and using Canva. Don't think of it that way. Don't think of it of having to be good because YouTube is competitive. Don't focus on that competitive part. Just do your thing. Right? Figure out who you want to have watching your YouTube videos, what type of people, and then what you want them to take away. Just focus on that. Just focus on those two things. Don't worry about A is competitive. You know, someone is doing this. Don't. If you sit with any creative people, I snoop and lurk on creative channels. Currently on Clubhouse, which is horrible, but I found a good group. They're all TV produced, or they write TV shows, or They help people write their scripts, and they all say the same thing. Don't watch other things. Like if you're writing a comedy, don't watch other comedies because you'll start comparing yourself and you start to pick up their way of doing things. Musicians, they don't listen to other people in their same genre. They will not listen to people in other genre in the same genre. It's like, nope, not when I'm writing music. Like, nope, because it screws everything up and it puts pressure on me. Don't do it. I didn't watch other GT Sports streamers. I didn't. I watched people streaming all kinds of random stuff, playing music from home. People, this one lady called Tiny Owl or something that does keycaps. People that do workouts on Twitch. I didn't look at anyone that was doing what I wanted to do, so I didn't want that competitiveness to come into play. But I found what was common in all the other types of streams, like what was common in all the streams. Took from that, thought about that, and then applied it. So, when you're saying that they were horrible, you're talking about the transitions or the quality of the equipment, but the core is always good. If your core is good, you could upgrade all the things around it. You have to make sure that the core is solid. For those of you who follow F1, Alonso said if he can get into the corner, he says, give me a car, bare minimum, that can get into the corner, and I can take care of the rest. I can fake my way through the middle and through the exit. But if I can't get into the corner, nothing else matters. So that's Alonso's philosophy. Just let's focus on one thing, getting the car to behave properly so I can get it into the corner. It may not be the fastest, but let's balance the car for a corner entry. So if you can get the car into the turn, everything else he says will sort of just flow along. You can fake all the rest of it. At least you're into the corner properly. So figure out what community you want to talk to, Trolar. Then figure out if someone were to sponsor you, who would you want to have sponsor you? What would they benefit from your activity? Okay? And that will help direct you into what you want to do. So what you enjoy doing, look at the thing that you enjoy doing and say, okay, so it's workshop time, everyone. All the things that we're about to talk about. Looking back at the Dark Soul days. Enjoy your lunch, Silver. What's for lunch? Okay, workshop time, everyone. So I need to brush off an old formula. You want to show Denmark. I want to see Denmark, but I don't. Hold on a second. That's me. That's my opinion. I can't do that. Hold on. I need to reel myself back here. Why do you want to show people Denmark? What's your purpose? So what okay, you want each video to tell a story, but what do you want to show about Denmark? I have a Flickr channel, a Flickr account. It's a photo account, and I want to show people the regular Japan, not the stuff that you see in videos like, wow, look at all these strange vending machines. Those are so rare. So rare. Everyday Japan is no different from everyday America. It really isn't. Now, there are some approaches that are different, but overall, I just wanted to show, hey, there's this stuff that happens every day here, mundane stuff that you would not even, most people think, oh, Japan is so, exotic, blah, blah, blah. Like, there's some mundane stuff. One of my most popular photographs for a while was just a lost soccer ball in a park. And I was like, I never thought about the fact that people play soccer in Japan. Because you're fed this steady diet of the weird Japan. And I just like, you know what? I'm just going to take pictures of everyday stuff. There's this whole thing about Japanese people don't smile. It's like photographs of people working and smiling. It blew people away. So you want to talk about the areas that you visit. All right. All right, this is me thinking. What do you love? Okay. I need to shift my brain around a bit. Hold on. I'm moving some things around in my head. So before we do this, we need to get the facts. So you live in a town in Denmark. There are places that you visit. Let's get all the facts. So there are things that you love. What do you... things that you love are things that you interact with on a daily basis, right? So you would have to sit down and make a list of sort of what you interact with every day. Okay, so one thing would be the seasons, okay? Oh, go ahead, Silver. And we can have 30 heat and down to like 15 color. Okay, all right. So you want to make a stream about you gaming, not about me, not about the community, but about me gaming. Okay. I don't have plans. I haven't sat down for planning, but that is it. Okay, so I like that. Okay, Trollar. So you can show the same areas under different conditions. I love this concept. I'm already in love with it. So each video we know, we're going to see the same areas, but as they go throughout the seasons, products are going to change, buildings are going to change, what people, the fashion from year to year, people doing things. I like this concept. That's a very good jumping off point. I'm going to hold two conversations at the same time. Silver, we need to sit down and talk. Okay. All right. So now you need to sit down and look at, you just sit down and just put all the facts on paper. You have to get from point A to point B. How you get from point A to point B. What, in each location, what's there? What do the people do? Sit down and let's make a long list of the facts. No feelings, no opinions, just what's right there in front of you. Whatever you do, don't let your opinions and your feelings and your preconceived ideas get in the way. Bullet point is just a fact. Supermarkets, convenience stores, and go at different times of the day and see what's happening. People cycling, commuters, just write exactly what you see. But you have to be careful not to assign value to any of it. And this is the most difficult thing for people to do when they're starting a project, is removing their feelings from it. So just make a list of, like, during the afternoon, or in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, at night, what is there? Don't say it's good or it's bad or it's crazy or it's interesting. Just list exactly what you see. And then we have all that sitting in front of you. It's like, okay, what is most interesting? How am I going to present all of this? Am I going to focus on like the time of day for each season or how I get there? There's so much for you to dig into. Yes, like a news reporter or a scientist with a clipboard who's just make it more of a scientist, a researcher just noting what they see in front of them with don't assign any value to anything. So go out and just ride around, get your GoPro, ride around. I think it has probably a photo function. Ride around. If you see something, hit the photo button. Get off your bike, photograph some things. And just when you get back, say, okay, what is this? And just, what is this? What is that? Okay, great. So once you have all of that, you need to figure out how you're going to present it. You can use your phone for photos. Excellent. I need to sort of slightly dig into your personal life, if that's okay. When should I go to IKEA? Oh, okay. When things calm down a bit, right? Silver, when things calm down, we'll hit IKEA. If you don't mind, Trollar, I need to sort of dig around in your life. What did you study? What did you enjoy doing? Next weekend, Silver. You trying to get me in trouble? What did you enjoy doing? You know, photography. What are some other things? Oil painting. What are some things you tried and you learned how to do but never continued with, but you sort of have an idea? This is what's going to dictate. No, not the weekend. Bad idea, right? That's the only time he's off. So sit down and think about what you know how to do or what you've experienced. And that will sort of dictate how you present, will help you dictate how to present your information. So I'm into photography. When I was in junior high or high school, my parents, one of the few things they agreed upon was that, okay, Derek wants the camera. Oh, I just outed myself. Hi, iMorph wants the camera. iMorph wants a camera. Design electronics? Okay. Oh, it doesn't matter. See, that right there, Trollar, what you did right there, but I don't have a degree. I don't care. Just don't think about that. That's not important. The part with a degree is not important. You went to school for design and electronics, so you learned about circuits, drawing circuits, reading circuits, measuring blah blah blah. Right? Don't judge yourself. Don't judge what it is. Just humans, listen to me, everyone. Stop judging. Let me do that. Don't judge. Also music. Okay. So
Thank you for trying this demo.
you can probably write songs. I think you've written songs. So you have these two possible. That's right, Silver. Do what Morph says, not what he does. Exactly. I'm a father. I'm the older brother. I've managed schools, right? I've built training programs. Do as I say. This is me trying to justify not following my own advice. You just play covers. Okay. All right. Cool. So
Thank you for trying this demo.
you have all of these. See, don't. Okay. I play covers. Does it? The just part, you don't need it. I play covers just means you're degrading your ability, right? Don't do that. You play covers. You don't need the just bit. You play covers. So we have all these possible. So we have all these possible presentation modes, right? This is called combinatorial something, combinatorial play. Oh, you also edit. Okay, so you have so many different tools at your disposal. So Photo Spice and I had a podcast. I'm going to tell you a story, and we're going to come back to you, Trollar. So Photo Spice and I had a podcast. It only lasted for 10 episodes. But I swear to God, it was one of the best things that we ever did. So I'm going to try to explain this concept to you. It's about taking something that seems unrelated and then putting them together to be creative. And we actually talked about that in another episode. I just have to find that thing. I can't find it right now. So she is into her beverages, alcoholic beverages, right? I'm into storytelling. She's also into storytelling. And we wanted to talk about, it was so much fun, right? So ridiculous. That podcast is still up, by the way. So we had this concept of, okay, we want to talk about beverages. But, I don't drink. So you made a song, you cleaned up a song so it sounded professional. It sounded clean and crisp, nice. But stop saying, but I got a lot to learn. Don't do that part. Don't do that part. Why do you have to always quantify? But I got a lot to learn. Why do you have to do that? Stop. Stop it. Stop it. Don't do that last part. Just stop thinking that. It drives me bonkers. So I sat down and thought about it. I said, okay, no, it's not humble. That's not humble. You're taking your skills and you're reducing the value. It's not humble. It's a very negative thing. Don't do it. Just state as a fact, I did this, and stop. Because it reduces your value to yourself. Like how you view yourself, you're reducing yourself to a level that's not appropriate. So it turns out that, how can I even put this? I don't know how to explain how my brain works. Horse name generator for horse races, right? Plus Wikipedia pages has a thing about the origin of drinks. So I said, hey, how about we do a podcast where we generate a horse race name, and then we spend 15 minutes trying to come up with a backstory for whatever this drink we're going to create. We have 15 minutes to come up with a backstory and what the drink is. Or sometimes we come up with the drink and then the backstory. Sometimes we come up with a crazy backstory and then come up with a drink. Well, she did the drink part. I don't know about alcohol. And so we spent 15 minutes on 3 different names. But it's this idea of you take something that looks completely unrelated. Names of horses. All right, everyone click that link. And so we had the name. We had the format of if we were going to write this on the Wikipedia page. And then we had to fill in the blanks. You made the bass line with the guitar, but down something to sound like a bass. Nice. Oh, that was so good. If you guys want to see my darker side, what was the link again? It's still up. I'm pretty sure it's still up. This might break everything, you guys. Safari has a tendency to. Oh, is it still there? Yes. Okay. You guys need to start from the bottom. I think Eastern Cinnabar is where you need to start from. I don't know how to change the order, but if you go here, oh my God, you guys, I'm gonna out myself as a horrible person. Oh, okay, so If you want to hear Photo Spice and I, start with Eastern Cinnabar and then just move up. Don't start with the top one. Start with the bottom one. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, so, dearest sister, no, there's a difference between being critical and those are two different things. So saying I have a lot to learn is not the same as saying, okay, I'm going to learn how to edit. I'm going to learn how to do things on the first take. You're confusing the two, or you're mixing the two. When you say, oh, I just do this, or I never did that, that's not being critical. That's something completely different. It still lives. It still lives. So, Trolla, you've got all of these different talents. You have to figure out which is the easiest way for you to present your place, right? You can have all these facts at daytime, nighttime at this place, and people do this and people do that, and this is summer, this is winter, this is spring, this is fall. Get all the facts. Look at how you want to present it, like the tools that you have in your brain. You have physical tools, editing software. You have this concept of flowcharts from the electrical design, I think, right? You have a lot of design philosophies, and then you need to find what do you want the final product to be. So for Photo Spice and myself, it was a Wikipedia page describing the history of the drink, what's in the drink, what it's served in. So you need to figure out what that is for you. Yeah, I agree with Photo Spice. Downplaying what you do is not being critical. Being humble has zero to do with being critical. Yeah. So, do you want to present? Is there going to be a part where you're getting way ahead, Trollar? So, are you going to write songs? So, see, this is the tricky bit. This is where all the thinking comes in. So since we don't have a list of all the things that are happening in these locations, it's hard to determine So if you've never written a song, don't try to write a song right off the bat. What you could do is just make up song titles, or you have to work around what you don't have. Take what you have and then work around what you don't have and say, okay, what am I going to do? But first, I think you need to sit down and just think about the different seasons, and then think about what happens. Go and see what happens in the afternoon, or in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, and just write down what you see. Before you start making decisions, we start making decisions. Then think about all the tools that you have at your disposal, and then how you want to go about presenting it. Right? What format? So for me, I'm comfortable with photographs. Okay, so it's mainly going to be like a travel vlog. Okay. So the presentation layer, like your graphics, pull from your design knowledge. Excuse me. And you can pull from design knowledge. Most people have a map, right? Like, oh, I went from point A to point B, but how would you represent your travels if it were a electrical circuit design or something like that? Right? What information would you put? And that will become your presentation layer. In music, you could say, what type of song would fit here? And, oh, this should be a jazzy blah, blah, blah. Or go out and find something that matches. Go find some royalty-free music that matches. So you'd have to blend your idea of music, your music skills and knowledge and tools, plus your design, and then slam them together. So you don't have to follow any rules. Just work with what you have. That presentation layer, yeah. That's good. So probably a song that would be good for driving, right? But you sit down and get all the facts on paper. And then get all the individual tools and knowledge that you have and say, how can I force this to work with this? And don't worry about it, yeah? Well, other people do this. Don't worry about that. If you were to present your rides with footage and the sounds that you hear, and then the information is presented like a blueprint or a floor plan or something like that, that would be really cool. But take what you have and make it work for you. Don't try to fit it into some sort of, well, everyone does this. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. So I'm going to give an example. So today, another thing that we're going to cover today, I am lost in the thing. Nope, let me kill that. So, one of the things we're going to cover today is log lines. A laser. So one of the things we're going to cover log lines, right? And I should, like always, there we go. I should just make each tab the same for each podcast. All right, let's move to log lines. I love TV. I love storytelling. I love movies. I tried to write a screenplay. I tried to do all kinds of stuff, but it was way over my head. Way over my ability. But what I am good at doing is reverse engineering things and finding patterns. This is like my most favorite thing in the world to do, is to look at something and try to figure out the formula or the format or the genre, right? Or what the pattern is for the genre pattern. Brings me so much joy. So there is something called log lines for movies. And basically, I looked at a bunch of log lines and tried to find the common patterns. I can't pull that up right now because I don't know where that file is. I've lost it. Is it here? Hold on. I've lost it. Is it this one? Okay, so this is the first log line that I found. And it says, an American journalist in Paris on a magazine assignment meets a young French woman who is a high-ranking and politically active member of the Ministry of Culture. They have an affair, fall in love, and fall in love. When he completes his assignment, he must return home, and as he boards the plane, he swears he will return. Oh yeah, thank you. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, this. Thank you. See, I prepared it and totally forgot about it. Yes, cult leadership is my specialty. Oh yes, excellent. I didn't realize it. See you guys later. I didn't realize it until I got on Twitch that apparently I'm a cult leader. Who knew? Our parents never knew, Photo Spice, that they were raising a cult leader. I don't know how mom would feel about that because she was really religious. But so yeah, that link right there. Okay, so I need to see where I am. I got lost. So yeah, the first one I found was oh, I know why they didn't work. Sorry, haha. You know, the faster way to do it would just be this. There we go. So I saw this and I started pulling it apart. So there's an American journalist. So we have this person, their nationality, their profession or their title, where they are, is sort of what they're doing, and then who they meet. I want to be a dictator. See, it's in the DNA, you guys. Laser, this is of my sister, Brown Bunny, also goes by Photo Spice. She used to have a podcast, a sewing podcast years ago. And so I pulled it all apart. So we have the character one, who is this. They're doing this, and then they meet this person. And then that person, they're French, that woman, this is their job. And then what happens? What's the inciting incident, right? They have an affair and fall in love, right? That's not supposed to happen. Ooh. And then once the journalist has completed his assignment, he has to return home, but he promises, as he boards the plane, he promises or swears he will return. All right, we have a commercial break. Silver PSA or a message from Silver. With the help of good programming, I managed to fix my huge work issues, the bug you created. GG's. Phew. Back to your regular scheduled show. All right. Does anyone know that you created it? Or do you just keep that under your hat? So I saw this, and I sort of tore it apart. Right? And I don't know where that file is. Hold on. Maybe I don't have a very good version of it. It's sort of a mess. But I'm going to show you what I started typing. So it would look like this. Character 1, nationality, profession, doing what, meets character 2, their nationality, their profession, doing what, and then the trouble, like what that sort of happens. I am never going to be in TV. Well, I don't know. At the time, my thinking was, you know what? I can't write a whole script. I actually tried once. It's really hard. It's harder than you think, you guys. So I zoomed in on what I was good at, which is reverse engineering. Right? And so I reverse engineered the format. Now, before we get into what I created, I went out and found some examples of movies that actually I've only watched one of 3 of these movies. I've never watched The Godfather. Just shut up. I don't want to hear it. I've never watched Taxi Driver. Don't want to hear it. I know. I'll turn in my passport later. But I have watched The Hangover. Priorities are all back to front, right? The Godfather log line is pretty good. But I think The Hangover is particularly entertaining. So we'll look at that one first. So The Hangover. 3 groomsmen who lose their about-to-be-wed buddy during their drunken misadventures in Vegas must retrace their steps in order to find him. That sounds like chaos. Immediately, that sounds like chaos. Hey, you can't talk, dear sister. You want to have it out right now? You want to have it out right now? You want to have a sibling fight right now? Do you want me to out you on what you haven't watched? Don't you call me out. Don't you do it. silence of the keyboard. Yes. Yeah, she's thinking about that now, right? Yeah. Come at me. So, no. Yeah, I know. I need to watch The Godfather. I know. So that's for The Hangover. And then Taxi Driver. No, that's the wrong thing. For Taxi Driver, which is what, 4? No, I think it's 3. Yeah, 3. A mentally unstable Vietnam War veteran works as a nighttime taxi driver in New York City, where the perceived decadence and sleaze feeds his urge for violent action, and he is attempting to save a pre-adolescent prostitute in the process. Holy cow, this movie sounds absolutely fantastic. I've never watched it, but this log line, holy cow. A mentally unstable Vietnam War veteran. Okay, mentally unstable. We know we're in trouble already. Works as a nighttime taxi driver in New York City, where the perceived decadence and sleaze feeds his urge for violent action. Oh man, that's loaded with so much, right? So we have back from Vietnam, PTSD, probably just everything is a hammer, everything is a nail. He's a hammer, right? And his only solution is to blow everything up, while trying to save all of this. This movie must be absolutely bonkers in terms of just what links he goes through. This is not Dirty Harry. This is like Dirty Harry plus 1,000. Oh God, Trollard. Why do you have to call me out like that? Why do you have to call me out like that? Why? Why do you have to do that? Oh my God. Oh, it's true. It's true. I know. Guilty. Thank you, Silver. Have you no culture, sir? Zero. I'm sorry. The professional chef's kiss. Oh, Trollar is so disappointed. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Not like this. And this is like unsub, unfollow. All right. So we have our format, right? Dear sister has seen my attempt at making log lines. This will jog your memory. I'm also outing myself as the weirdo that I am. Oh God, this is so uncomfortable. The internet makes me so uncomfortable. So let's just dive right in. We'll start with this one. This is fairly tame. It's Untitled. So, a Japanese train conductor, left to raise his 4 budding ballerinas alone because his wife ran off with a struggling artist, meets and becomes romantically involved with a Chinese theoretical physicist who is who is married to her high school sweetheart. Ignore the typo. So this is my attempt at a log line for a movie or a TV show. So Trolla, this is all about I love to reverse engineer things. I love photography. I love playing video games. So I put all those three together to present the concept of log lines. Right? So I took all the things that I'm comfortable with, I enjoy doing, and I put them in a pot, I stir them up, and boom, this is where we land, right? Yes. Isn't that a trope in Europe? No. And when I think about this, oh, I know. I kept, for some reason, I kept adding s's to all the words. Ignore that. Yeah, typos. Ignore the typos. Ignore the typos. I'll fix it later. Fix it later. All right, so let's go to the next one, which is I call bees in my pocket. Yes, I know they're typos. Bees in my pockets. A Navy SEAL transitioning to civilian life falls for the local florist. Unexpectedly, the florist passes away several weeks later, but not before writing a will and testament leaving the general. I forgot to fix this one also. It's not a general, it's a Navy SEAL in charge of the flower shop and the guardian of the florist kids. When you're trying to do this, yes, I know. When you're typing and drinking coffee and trying to get this done before the podcast is supposed to start, you get a bit fast on the keyboard. Okay. We're not here to judge. I do the judging. All right. So that's another. I have to wrap it up soon because I've got to eat. My body is getting really upset because I haven't eaten yet. I ate breakfast really early, and I'm going to start slurring my words in a minute. I can hear myself slowing down. All right. So, all right. This is the other one. An American precision driver performing in China becomes romantically attached to and impregnated by a renegade drug runner who is posing as a tour guide. Unbeknownst to the drug runner has been borrowing the driver's backup vehicles to make deliveries. I want to watch this. I want to make this movie. Please, someone make this movie for me. I have watched Gone in 60 Seconds, but I don't remember the plot at all. Did I just describe Gone in 60 Seconds? A genius. See, my brain knows a good thing. I'm trying to take credit for something I've never done before. Okay, number 7 is by far the most disturbing, and I don't know if I want to talk about this one or not. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, let's just continue this ride. So this is my most disturbing. I need to preface this with some things. I was thinking of the absolute worst possible thing that could happen to a devout Christian. Okay, so this is where my mind was when I wrote this. It's easy to misinterpret. Please don't misinterpret this. All right, so a devout stay-at-home Christian mother of 2, moonlighting as a poor copywriter to supplement her husband's meager income. Befriends her neighbor's 18-year-old son. Together, they anonymously write and publish a pornographic national bestseller. And then there's actually should be some more. They have to hide their secret. They have to hide their identities, or they wrote anonymously, but they get doxxed or something like that, or there's some sort of someone wants to out them. I don't know. That would be some things are missing, but this is how my mind works. I pull things apart, I reverse engineer them, and then I play with them. Welcome to my brain. I just thought of what would be the absolute worst thing that could happen to like a devout Christian, and this is what my mind came up with. I'm quite sure it's not encouraged. I'm quite sure if you go through the Bible, it's like, and by the way, commandment number 11. Go ahead and write that. Go ahead and write that adult book that you were thinking of. I'm quite sure that's not in the Bible. I'm almost positive that's not in the Bible. All right. I had an early breakfast. Drastically trying to cut down on the simple carbs, processed sugar. That means I'm always kind of hungry, and it also means I need a little, like a dash of sugar. I need to eat. Brain is falling apart. I'm going to start slurring. I'm going to concentrate really hard on my words here. So we're going to call it there. Today has been brought to you by Breakbeat Kings, Sips, CSV Kit, Curl, ImageCat, and Canva, along with iTerm, which I'll forget by next week to include. I think the big takeaway, the one thing I want everyone to take away from this, I'm going to allow this. Do your... no, I don't test it anymore. Yeah, I feel myself falling apart. Where was I? So, don't judge yourself. Don't prejudge whatever you're doing. Just state the facts. Being humble is probably the worst thing you can do for yourself. You can point out what didn't work well, or what you don't know, but don't use that to rate your ability or to rate your accomplishments up to now. I'm really falling apart, you guys. Okay, I gotta go eat. All right, I'll just leave that on the screen. Oh, that's the worst one to leave on the screen. That's so bad. I can't do that. The internet will hate me. Well, Twitch will get mad at me anyway. So let's see, what have we got here? We'll go out with this. All right. So remember, everyone, constraints encourage creativity. Yeah, I need to. And I will see everyone. For those of you who follow me on Twitch and enjoy the Gran Turismo Sport side of things, we'll be streaming that tonight, probably. Most likely it will be GT Sport. Not 100% sure. Not sure. But there will be a stream, and I will see everyone then. And for those of you in the US, go to bed. It's time for you to go to bed. For those of you in Europe, I'm not quite sure what time it is, but have a tea break, tea or coffee break. Get a bevy, a scone or a biscuit or a cookie, or whatever is the pastry most commonly consumed at break time. Take a break because you deserve it, and I will see you all 6:26 a.m. Okay, breakfast time. Breakfast. Get breakfast. enjoy your breakfast, and I will see you all later. Ciao.